We came so far from dreams. The path was hard for me. They thought we fall, you see. Well, look at us now, look at us now. We make it hot when we on the scene. Yeah, that's 1,000 degrees. I got a grind for me and my team. Yeah, you know we gon' eat. You see the crowds when we come around. You know that I roll with some kings. We sit it down, I don't hear a sound, but I ask you who better than we. Tell me who better than we. We soaring to places you never could reach. When we walk in that spot, don't hear none of you speak. Shh, do you want peace or the peace? A king about to put you to sleep. Listen, my team is elite. You not even qualified to compete. He starving, he barely can eat. I guess that's why he always itching for beef. So I put him on ice and I told him to chill. Close your mouth if you can't pay for the meal. Making statements that you know you don't mean. Nice guy trying to act like he mean. Keep it a buck, keep it a bean. Attitudes will put you dudes in the beam. Izuku, he don't live in reality. Shake back, all become a fatality. Yeah, how you gon' hate when you mirror us? He think he a star, he ain't serious. X him out, we not on the same frequency. If you broke, you ain't hearing this. Work the screw, anime, that's how I feel, period. We winning, that's making them furious. We make it high when we on the scene, yeah, that's 1,000 degrees. I got a grind for me and my team, yeah, you know we gon' eat. You see the crowds when we come around, you know that I roll with some kings. We sit it down, I don't hear a sound, but I ask you who better than we.
Yo, what it do, guys? It is your boy, Leon Mookie here, and I'm back with that of another new part of What If Izuku Had a Bakugan Quirk? This is part 2, and thanks a lot for the support of the last part, to be honest, guys. It really does mean a lot. Hopefully, this also becomes another, main series, to be honest. So, again, appreciate it a lot. Any rate, let's go with that of a recap. And the last part being that of part 1, where Izuku basically is, diagnosed that he does have a quirk, but no one knows on how to basically work it or activate it. Not even that of the bastard that is Dr. Ujiko. So, of course, Izuku spent almost half of his, childhood basically confused and wondering on what the heck his quirk is, with some people believing that he is completely and utterly quirkless, costing tons of friends and, bonds that he would have with that of his classmates and even his childhood best friend, Katsuki Bakugo. But in the process of losing friends, he gained something new, and that being the card game that's making its return to mainstream, being Bakugan, where Izuku playing it for the first time, he actually understood it, basically able to follow the rules, and even to the point that he even wins every match by knowing when to play certain cards, when to use certain Bakugan, and when to target certain opponents' Bakugan as well, making him a prodigy, even giving him the nickname, the Genius. Of course, even though Izuku is good and talented at that and gifted at Bakugan card game, he still wishes to be a hero no matter what. However, little did Izuku know, his entire life would change as that of his, quirk finally truly shown itself, as it took up energy for it to finally activate, as it's tied to Bakugan itself, as his Bakugan that he has on him basically are talking just like they would have in the anime, such as that of Skyrus, Tigreira, and Drago, and even using Skyrus' powers to save Bakugo from a sledge villain, showing off that of his new quirk. So, with all that said, let's get into this, shall we, guys? On that very day, everything changed for Izuku, no longer as basically deemed quirkless, as many people at his school saw him as, but they did see the news about him basically bringing out that of Skyrus, the Ventus Bakugan from the card game, out in public to save Bakugo. Originally, the heroes basically wanted to scold that of Izuku for acting in that of vigilantism after all. But given that he did help them out, they'll let him off with that of a warning. But then again, they also began praising Bakugo for holding out as long as he did and have a powerful quirk. And hopefully he'll be a sidekick for his agency, mainly as a way to reassure him that he's basically okay and all that crap. But all it did was he can't help but just look at that of Izuku, with a look of pure and utter hatred, annoyance, and a little bit of fear. However, there were other people keeping an eye on what just happened. From a tall, lanky, and basically emaciated man with that of long blonde hair and two tufts basically coming up with that of sunken black eyes, but you could see that of his, bright blue irises. Quite shocked at seeing that of the power of the young man's quirk, and maybe even believe he may be the one. Not only that, another person keeping an eye on them, somebody in the shadows, wearing glasses, and by their figure, they seem to be a female. However, you can't really tell on what their face looks like outside of what they're wearing being their glasses. But they can't keep their eyes off of Izuku. After at least a good few hours waiting, basically having been held up by that of the pro heroes, the police, and even by that of making sure that the ambulance checked on that of Bakugo and Izuku themselves, they are finally able to head back home. However, as Izuku was heading home, Bakugo basically had to give him a piece of his mind, saying that he didn't need his help, and not only that, he doesn't need the help of a goddamn liar and manipulator after all. The fact that he hid his quirk all this time, which catching Izuku completely off guard, believing that he hid his quirk when that's the first time he activated his quirk. Even tried to tell him that he found out that his quirk is tied to Bakugan, but Bakugo wouldn't hear it, and saying that he won't lose to somebody like him. That is his destiny, his goal to be the number one hero no matter what anyone says. And with that, he soon goes off, with Izuku quite absolutely annoyed at this, as he always knew that Bakugo or Kachan was stubborn, but yet to think that he would be this stubborn and this insecure about thinking that Izuku lied to him and manipulated him to believe that he was quirkless all this time, which led to that of Izuku being absolutely and utterly done with Bakugo's bullshit and deciding to follow his own path. It also helps that his Bakugan, like that of Skyrus, Tigera, and Drago, basically gave him that of pep talk and even giving him more advice on how his quirk could work, given that they are sentient and they know a little bit more than him, and hoping to figure it out as they go on. After heading back home and a teary reunion with that of his mother, who nearly basically flooded their entire apartment, which even led to Izuku nearly doing the same, Izuku brought out almost all of his Bakugan from each of the, series to be honest, from that of the original Battle Brawlers to New Vestroya to that of Gundalian Invasion and Mectanium Surge. With doing so, as then he begins to hear each and every single one of his Bakugan clearly as day, and all of them speaking almost like that in the anime, with their own personality and everything, as he can't help but be shocked and also impressed at the same time about all of this, as he begins speaking and talking to each and every one of his Bakugan, from the Pyrus ones to Subterra to Chaos to Darkus to Aquas and Ventus as well, as almost each Bakugan feels similar to each other, to how they are and they act in that of the anime. However, but even the ones who are basically villainous Bakugan have a soft spot for Izuku. It's probably because of his quirk. Since they're sentient and they're tied to him, they don't want to attack him, because if they attack him, it causes pain to them too. Not to mention, he, just like with that of Skyrus, when he brings out that of a Bakugan out of its ball state and materializes it into that of reality, he doesn't even need to, bring out that of his physical ability cards, like in that of the game. If anything, he can basically use them like that in the anime, like just use constant different other ability cards that fit for them and them alone, or fits for the situation in hand in combat. In a way, he doesn't need to basically be completely one-to-one accurate with the official card game that he's basically good at because of his quirk. The same also works with that of his, equipped Bakugan, like that of his Trap Bakugan, and even that of Battle Gear, alongside Baku Nano, and Battle Suits as well. He tries talking with that of Trap Bakugan, but just like in the anime, they don't really speak or anything. So he kind of just sees them as equipment Bakugan. And he's made that of several categories for that of for Bakugan or how his quirk works. Like from that of regular battle Bakugan, assist Bakugan, which also are in the category of, equipment. Assist Bakugan that basically are literally made to upgrade or help out or increase that of regular Bakugan are just there to support. Not to mention, Battle Gear is the same way, alongside that of Trap Bakugan. Baku Nano only works for that of, Mectanium Surge Bakugan, just like that of Battle Suits only work for them too. And then, he tries figuring out that of the other abilities, such as Baku Mutation, basically fusing that of, Mectanium Surge Bakugan into that of different forms and giving them different abilities, or have that of the same different two attributes. And the secondary Mectanium Bakugan, which is that of Bakugan Fusion, with that of certain Bakugan able to fuse together. However, he realizes when he uses that of Mutation and Fusion Bakugan that that he basically feels a lot more exhausted, drained, and even to the point of, passing out too. Which unfortunately he was basically passed out near that of, Dagobah Beach, as he decided to train there, given that nobody else is around and the place was turned into an illegal dumping grounds, until he woke up. But not inside of the dump anymore, but basically nearing the, bus stop around that of Dagobah Beach. With then looking around, wondering on who helped him. Within his Bakugan saying that it was a scrawny guy that looked like a skeleton actually, with blonde hair who helped him. With Izuku shocked saying, huh? As he's kind of shocked and surprised that somebody would actually willing to help him out. However, with wondering who was the guy or if they got his name, with Skyrus basically saying that they didn't. All he says is, try not to overwork yourself and train in moderation. With that, Izuku can't help but want to thank the man the next time he sees him. But as for his training, he needs to think things through a little bit more and possibly maybe get some new Bakugan on the way. However, as his time at that of Aldera, it's kind of changed a little bit. Sure, a lot of people now know the truth that Izuku isn't truly quirkless, and not only that, seeing the power of seeing his Bakugan on TV too, many guys and girls begin trying to suck up to him and basically try to get him to forget all the bullcrap that they basically put him through. However, some aren't really that bad, to be honest. Like one person who tried to befriend Izuku since the moment that they came to that of Aldera actually, a girl from America, who's also a big fan of Bakugan, and kinda Izuku's only friend since, Bakugo, actually. Her name is Nezui, or as she likes to prefer, and everybody else call her, Julie. Mainly because she looks, sounds, and acts like that of Julie from Bakugan. Even plays like her by basically using Subterra Bakugan when she goes against that of Izuku and other people. So to be honest, she's the only person that's always gotten, Izuku's back and isn't faking it or trying to get on his good side now. Even a few teachers try to do the same thing, but of course, he sees right through them. With Julie being the only person that's always there for him when he needs her the most. When she found out about that of his quirk being tied to Bakugan, she wanted to do whatever she can to help out too, even though her quirk isn't really useful for hero work after all, but she wants to give out at least some support and always there to help out Izuku when he needs it. Which he's thankful that she's truly his first real friend since losing almost everybody. However, as for Bakugo, he's basically kept his distance from that of Izuku. Almost like, he's no longer trying to belittle him, beat him down, and stuff like that. Instead, it almost seems like he's giving him space more than anything. In a way, maybe it's a way of apologizing for all the crap he's done to him. But of course, Izuku's aware that Katsuki is too prideful and too much of an ass to basically say it outright. As for his training, he decided to, see on which Bakugan fits with that of his battle style. I mean, any Bakugan would basically do for that of, being a hero, to be honest, given the size, power, strength, and everything else. But he wants to use that of Bakugan that he has a strong connection with, that he understands the most and feels closer to. Sure, he'll use that of other, attribute Bakugan, but he wants to use the ones that he has a stronger bond. And ironically, or not so ironically if you think about it, the ones he has a stronger bond with are that of Ventus, Pyrrhus, and Darkus. So occasionally, when he trains or basically battles, or possibly even use that of the Bakugan for that of hero work, he's most likely going to use more of those three attributed Bakugan than the others, unless the situation calls for that of other Bakugan. But all the same, while training, he still has matches with that of other people, including Julie. However, he had one interesting and quite, weird match with somebody on the way to that of, the card shop that he goes to. As seeing that of Watabe at the counter as always, with Watabe saying, Midoriya, hey, saying, Mr. Watabe, good to see you, but what's going within? Seeing that of a few kids basically, around his age going against each other. However, he sees that one guy basically runs away in annoyance, and another guy also tries to go after his friend, with Izuku wondering what was all that about. Saying this girl basically came in battling almost everybody and completely basically mopped the floor with them. With Izuku shocked, saying, really? Saying, yeah. As he soon notices her as it being a tall girl with that of blue hair put into a bun, wearing an all-white school uniform. As if you thought that she was somebody in high school, you would be wrong, given that she's wearing a middle school uniform. You would say otherwise, given on how tall and how mature she seems and her air about her too. As she turns around, showing that of her sharp-framed glasses, with that of a look of pure and utter annoyance and boredom. Within, soon Izuku feeling quite, nervous around her. Within, even that of Drago saying she's got that of a cold look to her. Within one of the other Bakugan that he has with him being that of a Darkus Bakugan, as it looks like that of a dual Helios, saying she seems capable, strong even. Well, Izuku saying, yeah, I can feel it. From her glance alone, even though it's terrifying, she knows what she's doing as a battler. Within, she soon walks over to Izuku, making him feel a little bit uncomfortable as she's quite taller than him. Within, looking down, saying, you are Izuku Midoriya, right? The one that they call the genius. With that saying, yes? Good. I've been waiting for you for quite a bit of time. I wish to battle you, right here and now. I wish to see if your skills are actually truly up to date. Within saying, huh? As then Watabe saying, she's been coming around here for the past couple of months. Have you not noticed? Within Izuku saying, no, actually. I mean, saying, oh, right. You've been busy training for UA, so of course. Within, she's saying, so the rumors are true. You really do plan on applying to UA High. I guess you plan to become a hero. Within saying, yes, you are. Allow me to fully introduce myself. Apologies. My name is Lena Isis. I'm aware what her real last name is, I'm just not saying it. I'm basically a high-ranking player. I've come to Shizuoka and Masafu to battle the so-called genius that a lot of, players will not stop bragging about. And I wish to see if the rumors are true. with Izuku feeling quite nervous by that of her stern and serious look, within Watanabe saying, this girl, she's no joke. She's basically beaten almost everybody here for the past few months, undefeated no matter what anyone does. Maybe Izuku will actually give her a challenge. Within saying, sure. Within saying, you kind of look familiar, saying, if I look like somebody from the Bakugan anime, then drop it. I hate that comparison. Now let's get to this. Within, Izuku a little bit nervous, but take a deep breath with hearing the support from his Bakugan saying, then let's do it. Within, they begin their battle, as at first, it seemed like it was tough for that of Izuku for once, as even though he knows which card to play, it almost seems like she has perfect counters for him. But it's when he plays that of certain other cards and bring out that of his battle gear alongside that of his trap Bakugan, he makes up for that of the, disadvantages he's gaining. Not to mention, her playstyle is basically using Aqua's Bakugan, and mainly two of them to change that of their attributes, to be honest. Seeing this, she's definitely no one to basically scoff at. If anything, she's even tougher than any other opponent that Izuku had to face against when using his quirk. But still, at the end, he was still able to pull off that of a victory. With that, Lena's a little shocked. Before then, she couldn't help but smirk, saying, so the rumors are true. Your skills are truly impressive. I will say always. Within, Izuku saying, thanks. Within saying, however, I can tell you weren't I thought you were reading my movements or even planning each attack properly. But then I found out, actually, you were getting cues or getting that of information on how to basically counter me. More like you were being guided. Either way, I thought for sure you were cheating. Within, soon, Watanabe saying, hey now, saying, I was only speculating, but my curiosity's been sated, and now I know the truth. He truly is a skilled player. As she adjusted her glasses, saying, I look forward to seeing what kind of hero you become with that quirk of yours, Midoriya. I have high expectations for you. Don't waste it. With it, she soon leaves as the door slide open for her. With that, Izuku is quite shocked, saying, what was all that about? Within, Watanabe saying, that chick is something else. Accusing you of being a cheater, but yet she realized it. Honestly, I'm more surprised that she didn't think it was your quirk, saying, Well, what then thinking, or maybe she did, but didn't think otherwise. I mean, you've been going crazy as the Bakugan boy, Izuku. Within, Izuku realized, oh, right, that rumor, or the thing that they call since they saw Skyrus and me saving Kachan. Within, Watanabe going, it's still all over the Bakugan community. A quirk that's tied to that of Bakugan as a whole, and even able to bring them to life? That's crazy. Your quirk is definitely needed for the community, if you ask me. But even so, you want to be a hero, no need to force it, man. Just go for it, and I got your back. With that, Izuku saying, thank you. Mr. Watanabe saying, good luck, kid. Oh, right. I'm guessing you want some Bakugan? Saying, yeah, actually. I was also wondering if you guys have any Mectanium Surge Bakugan, actually. Within saying, Mectanium Surge Bakugan? Sure. I think we got some new in stock, actually. Why that specifically? Within saying, well, it's something I want to try and do, actually. Within saying, all right, I'll just figure out what we got. Wait there for 1 second, Midoriya. As Watanabe walks off with Izuku, basically bringing out that of Skyrus. Within, Skyrus saying, are you sure about this, Izuku? Saying, yeah, I'm going to need that of trump cards for that of, UA, to be fair. And I feel like getting Mectanium Surge Bakugan might be those trump cards I need, given that I don't use them as much as the others. So I think it's time for me to finally get to it and get serious. With that, Izuku having a look of true determination. As for that of Lena, she couldn't help but basically smile, before then crossing around that of surprisingly her ample chest, saying, Izuku Midoriya, I'm looking forward to seeing your quirk again, and you, the kind of hero you truly are. And she has that of a little blushing tint to her a little bit as well, before continually walking down the street, as it's almost time for the UA entrance exam in the next couple of months. And that's it. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please tell me what you guys think in the comments below. Love to read them. So, what did you guys think? Sorry it's not as long as I normally do, because honestly this was more or less a way to explain and show what Izuku's, quirk is capable when using it. When he brings them out and brings out his Bakugan. Basically, them becoming alive, he's able to as they act more like that of the anime than that of the full-on card game. Not to mention, the same also goes with that of other Bakugan, equipment. Like I said, like that of Trap Bakugan, Battle Gear, Baku Nano, Battle Suits, which I love to dub that of Bakugan equipment, and not actual Bakugan used for that of, actual play, to be fair. So yeah. Also, if you guys wondering on who's going to be Izuku's main love interest, I'll probably make a poll for that of 2 girls, to be honest, and that's it. Nothing more and nothing small, so that's all. At any rate, if you guys like this, please like, comment, and subscribe. Hit that bell notification to keep to date my videos upload to the channel. Also, please check out my Discord, gaming channel, side channel, other channel, Patreon, and Cash App. All link in description below. And also remember, if you guys want me to do a one-shot what if of your choosing as a commission, please donate into that in the comment section around that. Either give me that of, $4 or 99 cents or more, and I'll do a commission of your choosing. What if of you want me to do. So with all that said, this is Leon Mookie, signing out. Later guys, I hope you all take care. Thank you so much for watching and staying to the end of the video.
But there's still so much on my love channel.
That's right, such as my other what if content and the most recent what ifs as well.
Not to mention his playlist, where you can watch all of his other what ifs.
Which, all said and done, this is Leon.
And Shiro.
And you're watching Leon Mookie.